So for your test on Tuesday, it's going to include everything with writing equations of lines. So in this worksheet, we just sort of have a variety of different things. I'm going to go through and do a few of them and then have you complete it, and then you can check the rest of the answers after that. Okay, so in this first section, right, it says to write the equation of the following in slope-intercept form. So if we're going to write in slope-intercept form, we're given an m and a b, right? When we're given an m and a b, that means we want to plug into y equals mx plus b form. So if m equals 3, we're going to replace the m with a 3. And if b equals 4, we're going to replace the b with a 4. So we would say that this is y equals 3x plus 4. Okay, then let's jump down to the second section. Let's look at one of these. You're probably going to want your calculator for this. Okay, so in this section, all it's doing is asking us to write it in slope-intercept form, right? Which is where we're solving it and putting in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so let's take a look at number 7. So once we're in point slope form, right, we need to distribute. So the 4/3 times the x is the one where we're just putting them next to each other. So 4/3 x. And then you'll probably want to use your calculator. Sorry, that's a really bad glare. To take 4/3 times, this is a positive 2. So we're just going to put in 2. So that gives us a positive, because we don't see a sign in front. So a positive 2 and 2/3. Okay, we'll bring down what we have left over here. So this will be a y minus 1. We're going to leave this in our calculator, so we undo subtracting 1 by adding 1. And then that 2 and 2/3 is already in our calculator, so we'll just press plus 1. So we'll have y equals 4/3 x, and then this combined together gives us a 3 and 2/3. So we'll have a positive 3 and 2/3, right? It's positive because we don't see anything in front. And that's our answer. Okay, let's jump down to the next section. So this section, right, we're given a point and a slope, and it's our job to plug it into point slope form. So if we're going to plug, let's look at number 9. If we're going to plug this into point slope form, right, we're plugging it into y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. We know that an ordered pair is x sub 1 comma y sub 1. So this tells us we want to replace y sub 1 with negative 6. So this is going away, and in its place we're putting a negative 6. We are going to replace m with 1/2. So this is going away, and in its place we're putting 1/2. And x sub 1 we are going to replace with negative 1. So now we really have y minus negative 6 equals 1/2 times x minus negative 1. Then as always, if we have the double negative happening, right, we're subtracting a negative, we're going to turn that into addition. And then we're going to start solving. So we'll distribute. 1/2 times x gives us a 1/2 x. 1/2 times 1 gives us a positive 1/2. Again, in your calculator, right, we could take 1/2 times 1. Then we'll undo adding 6 by subtracting 6. So we'll leave that 1/2 in our calculator and subtract 6. So we'll get y equals 1/2 x, and then this is a minus, so a negative 5.5. Oh, sorry, that's kind of off the paper there. Okay, then let's flip the paper over. Okay, let's look at number 12. When we're writing the equation of a line from a graph, we either can find a point and a slope, we can find 2 points, or we can find a slope and a y-intercept, right? We said the easiest way would be to look on the y-axis, the vertical axis, and to see if we can find a good point. So we see right here at 1 that line crosses right through that intersection. So that tells us, right, this point right here is B. So we know B equals 1. Okay, then we're going to look for another good point. So there's another good point at 1,4. So we need to find the slope. To find the slope, we're going to count rise. So we go up 1, 2, 3. and we go over 1. So that gives us an m of 3 over 1, which would be the same thing as 3. So we have an m, we have a b, so we can plug into y equals mx plus b form. So this has an equation of y equals 3x plus 1. Now, I'm not going to work all of 14 out for you. I'm just going to give you the reminder, right? It's just like what we were doing over here in this chunk on number 9. The only difference is that you're going to have to find the slope first. So remember, to find the slope, our formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I want you to finish the rest of this worksheet, and then when you're done, watch the next video to make sure you got your answers correct.